Welcome to the 5th and final day of the Yoga Core Challenge. Today's challenge will focus on crow and side crow. I recommend grabbing a towel or blanket to have beside your yoga mat before we begin practice. Find your way in mountain at the top of the mat. Take a big inhale, exhale breath to start getting yourself centered. Next inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring it back up, stretch it up, and do that again. Forward fold. And walk the hands from one side and to the other. Getting a little bit of a twist in the fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up, stretch it up. Exhale, forward fold. Go through a flow. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale it back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in, down dog. Maybe walking the dog a little bit. And then come down to all fours to roll through some cat and cows. Inhaling to drop the stomach and lift the chest, and exhaling to arch the back and look down. And walk the hands forward and drop the chest down into puppy pose. Take a breath there, reaching the chest towards the floor. And then roll back into child's pose. Pause there, take a breath. And you'll come up preparing for modified camel. Brace the lower back with your hands, lift the chest, push the hips forward, look back. Exhale, bring it down to rabbit, crown of the head reaches towards the ground, hips lift. And then you'll come forward into plank briefly before pushing it back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And you'll bend the knees, look forward, hop or step to the front of the mountain, forward fold, knees bent. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold, and then bring it up to mountain. Take the arms out to a T and twist the body left and right. Come back to center. Exhale, forward fold, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back into plank. We'll go through some chest taps, or you can just hold plank. In chest taps, you just take one arm off the ground and then the other, tapping the chest. And then push it back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. And roll forward into plank, optional push-up before going back into down dog. We'll repeat that step as many times as you want, going at your own pace. Inhale to push forward into plank. Exhale to take it back into downward facing dog. Keep the breath going. Keep the movement. A few more. And then pause in down dog, bend the knees, look forward, hop or step to the front of the mat for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring it up. Take a breath. And you'll inhale the arms back up, get a big stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Then you'll hop or step back into plank and go through a flow, or just push it back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And you'll take the right leg up and back for three-legged dog, and then bring the knee in towards your nose, step it through for a low lunge. Inhale yourself up, crescent lunge, bring hands to heart center, lean forward and twist to the right. Coming into revolved crescent lunge. Bring the hands back down into low lunge and then step back into a three-legged dog. You'll bend the knee, opening up the hip. Then you're going to take the right knee underneath the body, finding your way into fallen triangle, and then flip it over to a side plank, left side plank. Left arm is down, right leg is up. Optional wild thing. And then come back into a plank and go through a flow, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, exhale it back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Then you'll bend the knees, look forward, hop or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, bring yourself up. Exhale it out. Take a breath. Inhale, bring the arms back up, stretch it out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all the way back up, stretch it out. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step it into plank. Go through a flow or push it back, downward facing dog. Then you'll take the left leg up and back for three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Then exhale, bring the knee in towards your nose and step it in to a low lunge. Bring it up, crescent lunge, hands to heart center. Hinge the body forward and twist to the left for revolved crescent. Pause here. Then bring it back to center. Step the foot back, coming into the three-legged down dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Cross it under the body for fallen triangle. Right arm comes up. Then flip it around to the right side plank. Option to come into wild thing on the right side. Then flip it back over and go through a flow. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing, exhale it back, downward facing dog. For this next flow, be very careful. You're going to step halfway off the mat, hands planted firmly on the ground, feet come to the blanket. We're going to slide into a crunch inside plank. Both arms are planted on the ground. Left leg is over the right leg, twisting the body just a little bit. And slide the knees in towards the chest and slide them back out. Stop and walk yourself back onto the mat and go through a flow. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale it back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And bend the knees, hop or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up into mountain. Exhale it out. Next, inhale, arms come up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step it into plank and go through a flow or push it back, downward facing dog. You're going to walk yourself half off the mat to do the other side with the twisted crunch. Keeping both hands firmly planted on the floor. Left leg goes to the blanket or towel, right leg is on top for a twist. And then crunch it in. Keep going. A few more. Then stop and come back onto plank on the mat. Go through a flow. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing. Exhale it back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Bend the knees, look forward, hop or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, all the way up into the mountain. Take the feet out about hips width distance. Lift the hands up and come down like you're having a seat into chair. But bend forward, place the hands on the ground, elbows deeply bent. Try to bring the knees up into the armpits. If this is new or challenging to you, just start by leaning forward, placing your knees high up on the arm. And then stop, bring the hips back up, find your way into a forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring it all the way up, big stretch. We're going to set up for side crow. And you'll come down to toe stand. Once you're set in toe stand, twist towards the right. Bring the hands down to the ground, bending the elbows in towards the legs. Try to brace the right thigh high up on the right arm and lean into it. Again, if this is a new pose to you, just play around with it. Then slowly come back to center, back into toe stand. Get set and twist to the left, placing the hands onto the ground, bending the elbow. Try to bring the left thigh high up onto the left arm and lean into the arms. It's okay if you fall out, just keep playing around with it. Then bring yourself back into toe stand. Take a breath. Then inhale, come up into mountain, stretch it out. And forward fold, knees bent. Halfway lift, exhale, lower, inhale, bring it up, get a stretch. Palms together, down to heart center. Sink down into toe stand and then into boat. Pause in boat. We'll do a few low to high boats. Inhale to extend, exhale to bring it back in. Do a few more of these, going at your own pace. And inhale, extend it all the way out, get a full body stretch. Start to bring the knees in towards the chest. Hug them in tight. Then release and either come into waterfall, or if you want to do shoulder stand, you can just brace the lower back with your hands and push the feet up, using the core and the bandhas to lift you up. Make sure the neck stays still, looking up towards the toes. Then slowly start to come out of it, bringing the knees down first and then rolling up into boat. Inhale to extend, stretch it out. And bring the feet in, this time setting up for bridge. Lift the hips, lift the chest by squeezing the shoulder blades together. Maybe grab the hands underneath the body, coming into a bind. Pause here. And lower it back down, bring the knees back into chest and set up for spinal twist, taking the knees over to one side. And bring it back to center, go the opposite direction. And then back to center, pause there. Take the feet straight up into waterfall, feet flexed, and lower the legs all the way down slowly, going as slow as you can. Take a couple deep inhale, exhale breaths, relaxing the body down, checking in with the various parts of the body, making sure there's no tension, and letting go. Thank you so much for joining me in this core challenge. I hope that you were able to use this challenge to push yourself a little bit more, while also being gracious to your body and respecting the place you're in. Please let me know in the comments what you thought of this challenge and what you would like to see in the future. I typically upload videos weekly, so subscribe to the channel for more yoga. Namaste.